Hey guys, welcome to this week's review of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 16, Episode 5. Woohoo! Let's get into it. Okay, so the episode starts off where it did last week with Heather and Shannon, basically talking about this whole, I don't even want to get into it. You guys know what it is about Nicole, about her husband, about a lawsuit, about this, and about that. And basically, Heather threatened Shannon. Well, sorry, Heather didn't threaten Shannon. She made a promise, which was basically, if you come for me again and my family, I will destroy you. Okay, she didn't use the word destroy, but I felt like that's what she was trying to say. And that's kind of, I'm wondering, like, what tea does Heather have on Shannon? Or, like, what does she mean? Is she gonna sue her? Is she gonna spread rumors? Is she gonna beat her up? Is she gonna cuss her out? I don't know. But Shannon seemed really, really scared at that point, right? So I'm guessing Heather knows something, right? And, Shannon has had issues with her husband, her ex-husband, and I wonder if it's, listen, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not, right? Shannon, you just best be on your best behavior, okay? Do not talk about Heather and her family because she will come for you, okay? So, whatever. At the end of the day, they did come to an agreement, right? Not Heather, but Shannon also apologized to Heather's husband, and he seemed to forgive her. And I don't know, like, when I first heard about it, I guess it sounded more scandalous than it really was, because once all the tea sort of came out about the situation, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't. Was Shannon trying to be messy? Yeah, maybe she was. Is Heather overreacting a tad bit? I kind of think so, just a little bit. But I can also understand, if Shannon was talking about Heather alone, then that's one thing. But yeah, once you start talking about her husband, and I think, the husband is the main breadwinner of the family, right? And did you guys see that mansion? Okay, he makes a lot of money, right? So it could really bode bad for his career if there are rumors out there that he is a bad plastic surgeon, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be botched, okay? Right? So that could really hurt his career. So on the flip side, I can understand why Heather would be so upset. But thankfully, it wasn't really a big deal and nothing came of that, right? And they're able to move forward. So kudos to them. Moving on. So it seems that Noella and Jennifer have this weird little beef that doesn't really make too much sense to me, particularly on Jennifer's side, right? Because I guess Jennifer felt that Noella was being, I don't know, sort of rude or standoffish, which is like, I mean, okay, I personally did not see that, right? But whatever, if that's how Jennifer feels, that's how Jennifer feels. But then it turns out the reason why Noella is kind of standoffish towards her was because Jennifer posted a picture of herself and tagged Noella in it, which is really weird to me. I mean, I wish that they could have had more of a conversation, but the conversation sort of got shut down, right? Because I would have loved to be given some sort of explanation as to why you would take a picture of yourself and then tag somebody else in it. I'm not really on Instagram, so I don't know how these kids use it or what they do or whatever, but from my knowledge, that doesn't really make any sense. right? And we do know that Jennifer is, well, Jennifer's not a plastic surgeon per se. I guess she does fillers, Botox, or whatever. I don't know what you would call that. Comment down below if you know the correct title. But she is a doctor, so we're just gonna call her that, right? So I don't know if she was tagging Noella to sort of imply that she has done work on Noella, like she has done fillers or whatever. I- It doesn't really make sense to me, right? Was she listing Noella as a client? That's why she tagged her, which would definitely be really, really sketchy if that's not true. And I understand why Noella would be like, yeah, that's kind of messed up, especially if she has this sort of exclusive deal with another filler Botox person, doctor thingy majiggy, okay? Right? I don't know. And I don't know Noella, right? Noella is a very gorgeous girl. Like, is she on Instagram? Is she Instagram famous? Is she an Instagram model? I don't really know who she is. And that's no shade. That's just more so like, I don't know who she is. That's me. Noella is gorgeous, right? So she probably maybe does have some clout on Instagram. So maybe Jennifer was like, yeah, I'm going to use her to get a little bit of clout. Maybe that's sort of the situation. I don't really, really know. It would have been great to get more of an explanation. But more so on Jennifer's side, but on Noella's side, I can kind of understand why that person would be kind of creepy to you and weird, right? So, you know what? I'm liking Noella so far. You know what I mean? Noella is fitting right in, and she gathered Jennifer together real quickly, and Jennifer just shut down because I feel like, Jennifer, you were wrong in that situation, and maybe you probably should have just apologized for it, and then maybe you guys could have moved on. I don't really know either one of them, so I'm not too much invested in this beef nor fully understand it. So, okay, it is what it is, right? Oh yes, we also heard that Nuella called Heather a fake you know what, right? But Heather decided that she's gonna let it go because Noella is going through it right now. So it does seem kind of petty for her to confront her about that. Maybe that's something that will come up later on. I do think with Heather, yes, she does come off as sort of pretentious. Not that she is necessarily, but she does have this air about her. And I can understand why she may give off that impression, but maybe if you get to know her better, she'll give you something else. Maybe that's just how she is and that's her personality. I don't know. You know what I mean? I never really, like I said in my other reviews, I didn't watch the show. I just started watching OC, to be honest with you. And I didn't watch the show when Heather was on. I've seen clips, and from the clips that I've seen, I didn't really like Heather too much. But the more I am seeing her, the more I do like her. I do. So, yeah, we'll see how Noella and Heather's relationship unfolds as the season goes on. Another person who I didn't too much like when we were initially introduced to them is Shane, right? So this whole party is for Shane because he finally passed the bar. Congratulations to him. Hopefully he'll make a wonderful lawyer, right? I didn't too much like him, but the more I see him, I don't know if I would want to be married to him. And he probably wouldn't want to be married to me either, so that's great. Since he's married to Emily, right? But yeah, the more I see him, and like, I kind of get more and more of his sense of humor. He's really sarcastic. I mean, he doesn't come off as the most affectionate, but maybe that could be because the cameras are around and he's a little bit nervous. I don't know, but him and Emily, are they well suited? I don't know, but their sense of humor seem to match each other, so good luck to them. That's all I gotta say. Let me be nice. Good luck to them. That's all I gotta say. Um, yeah, moving on. So, Shannon, she has dinner. Well, they're falling scene. Shannon has dinner with her father and her daughter's boyfriend, right? And that was a cute little scene. It was. And they did show a picture of Shannon when she was younger. Like, she looks totally different. I don't know. She does. She looks totally different, but she definitely was really beautiful. And I don't know. Okay, let me move on. Let me not say anything. Okay, next. Heather. We get a scene with Heather and her husband and her kids. And this is a scene that definitely made me like Heather more, right? Yeah, she may be pretentious, right? She may be a bit over the top, but you could really tell that she loves her children and she's a good mom. At least from the scene, right? But she seems to be a good mom and she seems to have a good relationship with her children and her husband. And I do enjoy seeing that. So kudos to Heather. So Jennifer invites Nicole, Emily, and Gina over. And basically they start talking crap about Noella. Nicole in particular is weird to me as well because I remember last week's episode when Noella was breaking down and you could tell that Nicole was really, really uncomfortable because they were out in public at a restaurant, right? So she was just trying to get her to kind of just shut up and stop crying. And she was like, "Oh, don't worry. Everything will work out. Your husband will come back to you and everything will be fine and you don't even have to worry." Like just bullshit, right? Just to get her to shut up. And yeah, okay, I can understand on one level how it could be embarrassing to have someone break down and cry in public because, yeah, that gets a lot of attention and a lot of people looking at you, but this is your friend. And your friend's husband just disappeared out of nowhere and they're getting a divorce. Like, understandably, they're going to be a bit upset, right? Even if you think Noella is being a tad bit dramatic, okay, but this is supposed to be your good friend. I mean, I didn't really get that from that scene, so that was really weird to me, right? And if Noella is supposed to be your friend, right, while you're at Jennifer's house and Jennifer is kind of talking crap and saying, "Yeah, I don't think she's really married, da 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 da," like, wouldn't you stand up for your friend? I don't know. I'm not really feeling Nicole for the show. And Jennifer, I don't really know yet, but I'm not too much feeling her. I feel like Noella so far seems to be fitting in with the ladies. With obviously Heather is here to stay, Shannon obviously, Gina, Emily, obviously, and I think Noella is working her way into the group in a way in which feels genuine, at least to me. It feels somewhat authentic. Do I feel like Noella is kind of, when in terms of Shannon, do I feel like maybe Noella is kissing Shannon's butt just a tad? Sure, right? But the friendship seems somewhat believable, so we're gonna go with that. Right? But Jennifer, I don't really know how she fits in with the other ladies. And her issue with Noella kind of seems contrived to me because Jennifer wants to say, "Oh, well, they're not really married." And I don't know, is this one of the situations since we don't know Jennifer well, we don't know Noella well? I haven't been following the tea on Noella and her marriage and da 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 da. You know, I've read headlines, so I knew something was going on before I watched the show. But I don't like to get into the tea too much because for me, I don't know, I don't like spoilers. And I find that it doesn't help the show once you, like, if you know everything that's gonna go down, it doesn't really make the show any more interesting. Like, I found that out with Atlanta, you know? And so now I'm kind of like, okay, I need to back away from the tea. Now the off season, I'll keep up with some stuff, but once the show is on, I just rather watch it and see how things unfold. So, when Jennifer's saying, oh, they're not really married and da 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 da, it's kind of, I mean, I don't really know who to believe or who not to believe, but I'm gonna, it seems like Noella may be telling the truth on this one, right? Because, like she said, you have to be legally married to get legally divorced. So, yeah, I think obviously Jennifer is still butthurt because she kind of looks stupid. She did, right? And now Jennifer is trying to say that Noella called her ugly. Noella didn't call her ugly. She said her photo was ugly with bad lighting. Hello, Jennifer, get it right. You know what I mean? And I guess Jennifer is embarrassed now, so she's gonna throw Noella under the bus by going after her marriage, right? Which is like, I still don't get this photo thing. Someone please explain it to me. It doesn't make sense, right? And even if it was a misunderstanding, why not just apologize? Or why not give an explanation? Oh, well, you see, the reason I tagged you was, or I'm sorry that I tagged you. That greatly offended you, and I apologize. I don't know. Like, I don't understand why there needs to be this huge beef over that. So it is what it is. But Jennifer and Nicole, I don't know if I'm really feeling them for the show. I don't know. I don't think so. If I'm gonna be honest with you. Right? And it was kind of weird when they're all sitting down and they're acting like Noella is lashing out at them. And I haven't really seen Noella lash out at anybody, really, maybe just Jennifer. So it's kind of like, what are you guys talking about? So that's just weird to me. But moving on. The next scene, Heather had invited Gina and her boyfriend to watch a horse race, right? And that was a cute scene, and I really do like Gina and Heather's friendship that they're building. Like it's another, even though it's new, it does come off as genuine, right? And yeah, I think Heather, I was wondering like, how is Heather gonna fit in with this new group? But Heather is fitting in with the group, right? And she definitely is a good match for the show. And I'm liking Heather more and more, right? The more I'm getting to see her, she has a great sense of humor. She seems really fun. I love her and her husband and their dynamics. So, you know what? I'm going to give Heather a chance. So far, I'm liking her. And I like Gina, so woo for everybody. And can you believe it? They won. Lucky bastards. They won. So woohoo to them. Okay, next. So, what else happened? Well, Emily goes over to Noella, and Noella is kind of breaking down because she's telling the story about how she got served her divorce papers. It's really, really sad. And like I said, I have not been reading the tea, so I guess maybe as we're only on episode 5. Can you believe it? I don't know why Orange County, I don't know, it's going slow for some reason. Maybe because there's so many other housewives on at the moment. But we're on the 5th episode, so I definitely think we're going to hear more and more about her marriage. Like, something definitely sketchy was going on with her husband. Maybe he was having legal troubles, so he fled to Puerto Rico and kind of just left her behind. I don't know what is going on, but we'll see with that. And that must be really sad and devastating. And they have a 2-year-old child, so I'm kind of wondering, how is that gonna work? You know what I mean? Like, the child can't go on the plane by itself to Puerto Rico, so how is that gonna work? And if he has legal troubles where he doesn't want to come back to California, I don't know. That must be really, really hard for her. And then at the same time, you just so happen to be filming a reality television show where it's like you can't even grieve and go through what you're going through in private. You have to go through it in front of everybody and have people like me insert my opinions and like that must be really, really difficult. But it is a blessing and a curse. I definitely think she will be asked back next season. So far I'm liking her, so I definitely think she'll be back if Orange County is back, because I don't know how the ratings are, to be honest. But I think Heather coming back may have given it a boost. I haven't checked. So, yeah, so definitely being on a show like this is an opportunity. So, hopefully, she will be able to make the most of it, and ultimately, everything will end up working out for the best. Oh, yes, I also wanted to talk about Noella and Heather. So, at the horse race, Gina was telling Gina was telling Heather that Noella was saying not to trust Heather, right? And I'm kind of confused as to why Noella doesn't like Heather, right? Initially, I thought maybe it's Shannon kind of, not necessarily Shannon getting in her head, but because she's trying to formulate a relationship with Shannon, and Shannon and Heather have beef, she kind of let that, she kind of let their beef inform her sort of idea of who Heather is instead of actually really just getting to know her for herself. But from the preview for next week's episode, we hear Noella saying, well, you were slamming people against walls. And at first I'm like, what? Heather was slamming people against walls? We didn't see Heather slamming people against walls. But then maybe that's something that didn't get caught on camera, right? Because I remember at that party, at Heather's party, at a certain point, she was like, no, I'm done. I quit. Stop following me, right? So maybe there was a little bit of a scruffle or something going on there. Though I don't know. I can't imagine Heather slamming people against walls. I mean, you never know. So I definitely think Noella is exaggerating a bit, right? Because she's hearing stuff from Shannon. And also Shannon telling her that Heather said, like, you mess with me, you're not just going to lose my friendship. And yet again, that's not a threat. That's a promise. That's like a heavy thing to say. So I guess you just get this bits and pieces and you don't really know somebody. To be fair, I mean, Heather wouldn't look too much of a great person, but with shows like this, you got to be careful what you say because everything is going to get back to that person, right? And so we're going to see what that conversation is going to look like because like I said, from what I've seen, I don't understand why Noella would have such a beef with Heather, but we're going to find out because allegedly Heather's been slamming people against walls. So, yeah, I mean, this was a cute episode, I guess. It is what it is. That's everything, guys. See ya.